Has Juneteenth been too commercialized?
I think so.
So
But
Aaron and I are going to butt heads on this. Go, Aaron. You
I
go
don't think
first.
we're gonna butt heads on it. I think it is a beautiful holiday. It is what it is. I think it's been super commercialized. If I see one more black, green, and red party city situation where like it irks me to no end because you can celebrate it without having to use what can feel like a caricature of the holiday to me.
Welcome to Coach's Corner, where culture, strategy, and real talk collides. I'm Nia McConnell.
And I'm Tamer Mokhtar. We're breaking down the week's biggest plays, connecting the dots, and as always, keeping it real.
No topics too big, no truth gets sugarcoated.
Because knowing the game isn't enough. You've got to know how to win it.
Let's get into it.
Let's go.
Erinn, welcome to this week's episode of Coach's Corner. We are so happy to have you back.
Glad to be back.
Yeah. Tell the people again what you do at AAV.
At AAV, I am the art director, so I'm here to make everything fly, fun, and functional as much as possible. That's on social, that's on web, and that's in person.
We love to hear it. Erinn, tell the people where you're from.
It's not usually that tough a question, but
No, it's not a tough question. Where are we going with this is what I'm trying to figure out.
Because you know my BS. We're talking about Cardi B. I just want to get your
Look, leave me alone. As a girl from New York, we can only do but so much. Leave my girl Cardi alone. She's living her best life. She's outside with it. You know, she got them divorce papers signed or close to being signed. It's a hot girl summer. It's a Cardi B summer. I love this for her.
Okay, that's what we wanted to know. I wanted to know. This is Hot Takes and Timeouts, where we say the quiet part out loud. I just said the quiet part out loud. They said offset, onset, sunset, it don't matter. We got Cardi in 6. That's what the people said here.
I got Cardi in 2. Don't play on Cardi's name. I love this for her. I'm glad she's outside. You move on, you move to the next one. That's the past. She looking towards her future. I wish her nothing but the best. I need an album to come out though. I need like her version of a Lemonade, but not Lemonade. You know what I'm saying? Like I need something else.
Exactly. We would love to see that. All right. The people said the older I get, no. That's what the people say right now. And as millennials,
I'm sorry, as what eels?
millennials, I threw a Z in there, but we're
You,
gonna go,
okay.
we're gonna go,
You
we're
threw
gonna
a
go.
T in there somewhere too, but
As millennials, I totally agree. It's like, no, I get the power of no. I'm a yes. I like to say yes. Like, yeah, sure, sure, sure. But I'm learning the power of no. Tam, where are you at with the no? When did you learn? Hell no.
that might be my favorite word. I am firmly in the camp of no. By the way, this is the first I'm hearing about literally everything that you guys have talked about so far. I didn't know Cardi B was married. Wouldn't know Cardi B if she walked into my living room. Good for her for whatever the hell's going on, whether it's 2 or 6 or whatever any of that means. As for the word no, I can't remember who it was. Some celebrity was saying my dream is to sit on my back porch with a phone next to me and just continually pick it up and just say no, no. That's liberation to me. That is freedom, and I'm here for it. Totally here for it. But I will say this huge asterisk: the 2 people to whom I can never say no, and don't let my wife hear this, are my children. It's can you pick? Yes, can you? Yes. I find myself rearranging my life to do little dumb things with them. So no is my favorite word to everybody except those 2.
Now that's real talk right there. As a parent, I agree, but this year I'm learning the power of no with the kids. Actually, y'all gave me some good advice about saying no, not giving them a no, but just a nah, no.
The most important part of the no is the period that follows it's no period, period. And I'm not offering any further explanation. You don't have to know why my no is a no. I don't feel compelled to tell you why the no is the no. And I am happy to say no, stop, and let you feel awkward about it. Walk away. I do not need to explain to you. You don't have to know the reason why. I said no. Very simple. It's not a good way of making a whole lot of extra friends, but I also don't need a whole lot of extra of those at this point in my life. So the answer is no, full stop.
Erinn, I think you kind of probably came out the womb saying no. I don't know. I just got that feeling that Erinn as a baby, Erinn as a toddler, been on no. What about you?
Big on no. Big standing on business. Love to say no. Unfortunately, sometimes a little too much. But there are a few people that I always will say yes to regardless. Those people know who they are. But I think as an aunt, since I am the one person on this call that does not have kids, those babies will never get to hear no out of me. they'll probably hear not right now, or they'll probably hear like, no, we could probably do that a little bit later, but it's never 100% a no. Thank God they're young enough not to listen to this and be privy to the details of the podcast. But those are my babies, and they'll
But
get
just,
whatever they want.
hold on a second. So for me, remember how I added the caveat that the period after the no is what's important for me? With Erinn, it's all of the space that exists before the word. She rarely has to use the word no. Erinn will, you will catch a look from Erinn, right? Intentional. And it doesn't even have to be at you. Erinn can look off into the horizon and you know it's a no.
You know it's
Every
a
now
you.
and then it's like, okay, Erinn, I need to hear you say no because I'm reading and feeling and catching the no from you, but I need to hear it from you just as confirmation.
Yeah.
In my defense, sometimes I'm looking off because the immediate answer is a no, but I'm like, how can I get this to a yes? Because I think it's possible. However, comma, my gut is saying no, but logistically it might be a yes.
So that's good to hear because a lot of times what I think you're doing is you're saying the initial answer is hell the fuck no, and I need to be more diplomatic about that, so I'm going to stay quiet for a minute.
No, I should probably think more before I speak, but usually whatever you hear me say is exactly how I'm feeling in that moment. And then if it's like I'm thinking and I'm looking around, it's because like there's a very small gut reaction in me that's like, we can make this happen. I just don't know how to get there yet. So I'm stalling for time until I figure it out.
By the way, that's a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing. That's a lot of self-awareness. Everything about that is correct. That's right.
Roots Picnic and music festivals, the Roots Picnic, it is trending right now. And music festivals in general, the vibe is we're not getting our money's worth. Like the promises are not being met. Like y'all keep over promising, under delivering. And Team AAV, we love us a good festival, baby. We want to pull up to the festival. We want you to pull up to the festival. But the people need to get it right. Erinn, are you headed to any festivals anytime soon?
I hope so. I love a good festival. I think it is a tough job for the production team, so I never want to slight the team that is doing the work behind the scenes. I know it's a lot that goes into it. I do think that it is hard to make everyone's experience like a 5-star experience. So you're always you're batting for the average. You're not batting for exceptional or underwhelming. So I will say that it is a tough thing, and given everything going on with the economy right now and individual artists going on tour, it's a little bit harder for them to book the talent that you may want to see without it feeling like a similar lineup to what you may have saw last year or the year before, because there hasn't been a lot of newer acts that really have come to the forefront that would be a draw for the festival scene. So I'll say that, but I will say like there's certain things that like, all right, we're in 2025. We should certainly have like a reprieve area that has air conditioning, just not for people that are in VIP, but for people that are in GA, because that is a health concern, especially if you're doing a festival like in July or August or somewhere where it's extremely hot or humid. That's just a safety concern.
We're getting some back-scene production IQ on this episode, and I really appreciate that because most people don't understand what all it takes to get a festival. It's like the moment you announce a festival, people are talking about who needs to be on the lineup. Baby, can we afford these people? Do we got McDonald money to get Travis Scott and Future up there on that stage? And then people complain about the price of tickets. So that's a good point, Erinn. That's a good point about we haven't had any new breakthrough artists to really give us diversity and who's headlining these festivals. That's really good. Tam, you're not a festival lover, are you?
I'm not a traffic lover, all right? I'm not a parking situation lover. I do think so. From my perspective on festivals is like if the shadiness can be removed, then my thing is festivals tend to be, at least the ones that we pay attention to, great spaces for sort of Black celebration and Black joy, positive Black vibes, period. And that I love. So to the degree that can continue to be facilitated, I'm 100% for it. I also love the fact that artists like Maxwell and D'Angelo and Redman and Method Man, like the throwback stuff has a place, because honestly, like Method Man and Redman probably could not do a concert tour on their own. There's just not enough of a library or enough of a mass following. However, you put them on stage with 7 or 8 or however many other acts, that throwback vibe is killing it. Like that's a really, really good idea. It's a good place to do it. It's a good idea. It just makes it, fun and enjoyable and consumable. Agree that all of those things can be maintained and advanced and promoted and blown up even more. That's great. A place like One Music Fest facilitates that pretty well. the hope would be that, again, there is a monopoly as it pertains to the promotion of these things, and with monopoly and with when the money starts to flow, the shadiness factor goes up. I remember that Lovers and Friends festival last year in Vegas that just sort of went away and left a lot of people in a lurch. That kind of that stinks. I don't begrudge anybody for making their money. Just if you can do it in a way that still facilitates the positivity, then I'm here for it.
Tam jumped it off with people's number one complaint too is parking. They said just include parking in my fee. I'm tired of having to struggle to park. Yeah, exactly. If we can
Can
get
I?
a good
I'm gonna give a shameless plug for the way we do some of this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
we definitely promote and give away experiences at these places. And I remember last year when we were looking at the Roots picnic, and I looked at the lineup. I said, "Now that's me. That's Gen X. That is 100%. 90s lineup. Whatever. How do we make this attractive so where people want to get involved?" And I remember thinking, okay, the VIP experience is good enough, but that's not going to get me out of my house. I remember thinking, if you could get rid of the traffic and the parking situation. So we came together and collectively decided, why don't we, if we offer like a car service to and from, I'm all in, hands, feet, I'm diving in head first into that. So that's the kind of thoughtfulness that we put into our experiences. And that's kind of what, to me, that sends things over the top. That's better than like the VIP ticket plus the car service. That all of a sudden becomes very attractive.
Exactly. And you add fine ass Method Man on the stage. Who mad? Who mad? We got to see Method Man and Redman at Roots Picnic last year and at One Music Fest. So they definitely represented. Oh, it was a good time. It was a
It
great
was a good
time.
time.
All right, it's time for Game Field, where we're breaking down the biggest political and cultural moments of the week. Y'all, guess what? It is June, which means this is Black Music Month. This is Pride Month, and this is the month that we celebrate Juneteenth. It's a Blackity Black-ass month, and we love it over here. The question is, has Juneteenth been too commercialized?
I think so.
So
But
Erinn and I are going to butt heads on this. Go, Erinn. You
I
go
don't think
first.
we're gonna butt heads on it. I think it is a beautiful holiday. It is what it is. I think it's been super commercialized. If I see one more black, green, and red party city situation where like it irks me to no end because you can celebrate it without having to use what can feel like a caricature of the holiday to me. So like, does Christmas have other colors between green and red? Yes, but it's synonymous with Christmas. So you can have a Christmas tree up, which a tree is green, but you can have a tree up and everyone knows that that's Christmas. We could figure out something else that is not just a fist in the air and that says Happy Juneteenth in the same font across 70 different things. Like we got to tighten up on that.
Isn't that a sign that we've made it, or the event has made it on some level when it gets commercialized? Like, it's the push and pull that people have when they're a day one. Let's go back to music, right? If you're a day one fan of it, like I remember, again, I was 14 years old, way into Public Enemy. All of a sudden, Public Enemy blew up 5 or 6 years later, and everybody, especially, let me just say this, the white suburban kids started getting way into Public Enemy, and I felt some kind of way about that. But at the same time, why am I mad that the folks that I supported for the reason I supported all of a sudden are seeing big success? I don't know if that's too much of a departure in terms of an analogy, but the fact that Party City, which is now, isn't Party City out of business anyway?
R.I.P.
Yeah.
The fact that you can get Juneteenth stuff at Walmart is a sign that it is gotten into the mainstream on some level. And while I can understand the annoyance, but I could also see the upside is maybe outweighs the negative of that. I don't know. I'll say this. I've been flying the sort of the Pan-African colors in the American flag in front of my house for years. Juneteenth has only really been recognized for 3 or 4 years. So my main thing is, how can it be overdone when it's just still in its infant stages? And, we turn our house, we live in a white neighborhood. We make white people uncomfortable during the month of June. Like we Cookout, we pull the grill around to the front driveway. We have the music in I have a Juneteenth banner that covers the entire garage. I make a full ass of myself around Juneteenth on purpose. So I'm here for it. I'll dye the front yard if I can, red, black, and green, for the purpose of just bringing more visibility to it.
I am in tears because I kept thinking, as Tam is explaining, the benefits of it being commercialized. I was thinking, who does it benefit? And now I get it. It's for the people who finna really show out, and you need to roll up to the Dollar Tree and get you some decorations because you about to pop out and show.
Man, I had red, black, and green streamers across my whole house, outside and inside. Like, really? I mean, I can show you pictures. Like, I overdo.
Oh no,
Especially
I'm
for
picking it
that
up.
nasty ass neighbor who called the police on my 9-year-old son for riding his bike through the neighborhood. I want that in his face.
That's that flex. That's that people who can afford to flex on them. And it's that threshold. You know what, y'all? It's a threshold after the no. You get to a no, right? That's a good place to be. Then you get to a I don't give a F attitude, and I got a few dollars to flex on you, man. That's a different league. I know retired Black educated women. There's a whole league of them who just live to piss off that prejudiced, racist neighbor across the street with their Black Lives Matter sign and they Juneteenth celebration and they block party in June. Yeah, I feel that. Okay, I can see.
Look, I support it. I'm not gonna go and say you need to take this out of your lawn or you should not put this up. I'm gonna support it. I personally just think that it is overdone. Now, I'm also the person that does not like to listen to Mariah Carey because of Christmas music.
You are offending me, Erinn.
We can get
Erinn,
into that. Well,
you are
Nia,
offending me, and I was on your side
You're
with
just
this
a
whole.
black
It's
Scrooge. That's all. Just a black Scrooge.
and that is fine. That is fine. I will be in the minority in that section, but I will say I support anyone that celebrates it. I personally think that the advertising of it is overrated personally, but it just became a national holiday 3 years ago.
It is a national holiday. Let's not bury the lead.
I'm not burying the lead. Like, it's a national holiday.
Until maybe somebody decides that it won't be, which I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, by the way.
Exactly. But I also think 4th of July.
Let's never forget, MLK Day in Virginia was Lee Jackson King Day up until just 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know,
literally.
Robert E. Lee, Stonewall Jackson, Martin Luther King, third billing to 2 Confederate generals in the state of Virginia up until whatever it was, 10 or 20 years ago. So don't ever forget that fucking fact.
I mean, not just Virginia, Arkansas too. I remember moving to Arkansas in 2016 and I was like, y'all got a Robert E. Lee Day. What are we talking about? This is nonsense. Yeah, I mean, I think that there's still a learning curve with Juneteenth being a national holiday because it frustrates me, like being a Texas girl, it frustrates me that the origination of Juneteenth needs to be recognized and not just the red, white, and blue. Nah, that's the wrong colors. Not just the black, red, and green colors like during Juneteenth. Like, it's more than just black. There's a whole history to it. And so when it's commercialized, you forget the history of it. And we're going to see more and more of that. I think it's Black people's responsibility, though, to hold the line and be like, don't play with our history. Don't play with our holiday. I mean, we just had 28 days of Black History Month. Let's put some respect on our name in the month of June.
I'll say another thing that I do. We tend to have, a cookout and, celebrate it. I also make sure I intentionally invite a few of my white neighbors to the house, not just because I like them, but also for the broader purpose. As I've always said, I take things way too seriously. I find symbolism in everything. Ask anybody what you know, right? Or white families, middle-aged white folks that you know. How many times have you had dinner at a Black family's house? How many times have you been in an environment where you are the minority, like a private environment? Like, how many times have you gone somewhere where white people are, you got to look around to find the other white person? I put some of my white friends and white neighbors in that position intentionally because they will likely never experience that again and have never experienced that before then. So that is another thing. I would encourage anybody to think that through and think about doing that. If you have white friends that, or white acquaintances to whom that enjoy, like whose company you enjoy, invite them over to that just to put them in that situation. And it's not being adversarial, and I'm not really agitating, although I am. I just think it's an experience that, in all honesty, ideally speaking, it can actually help change things a little bit because they will, for the first time in their lives, many of them, look around and feel the way we feel every fucking time we walk into a restaurant, every single time you get to a get-together. My neighbor invited me to his 40th birthday party or whatever this past weekend, and my wife and I were like, we're getting the hell out of here as quickly as we can. They had live music, and it was a guy with a guitar playing country music at volume 11. You know what I mean? I'm like, we're getting out of here. And my, me, I literally, another one of my neighbors walked in, and of course, Brandy and I were the, proverbial ink spots in the bowl of milk. And I said to her, I said, when we leave, it's going to be noticed, but we won't be missed. And I said to my other neighbor that I'm pretty close with as he walked in, I said, we got to get the hell out of this Klan rally as quickly as we can. I said those words out loud to a white man in the middle of a party full of white people. And I mean, it's just, like I said, to keep it a little bit lighter, invite somebody over so that they can have that experience, because they just otherwise probably will go through the rest of their lives never having had that experience.
I think that's deep, but you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of how people keep inviting white people to the cookout, to the proverbial cookout.
Yeah,
Like,
just don't bring potato salad. Okay, just bring beer. Just bring beer.
I don't know. I'm not inviting them, Tam. I'm not inviting no white people to
You
the
invite
proverbial cookout.
I'm telling you, invite a white family. Invite a white. Let them walk that path.
And let them
Them
walk that
feel
path.
that. They need to feel that. I think they need to feel that. They
That's
need to
deep.
feel that discomfort on some level. Erinn, you disagree?
I disagree, but I think so much of Black culture has already been co-opted as popular culture, which then turns into gentrification of our culture. Like certain stuff we should just be able to keep to ourselves, and I consider it a sacred place. So like a cookout to me is one of those sacred places where it's like it's an unwritten rule. We all know each other, or if you don't know each other, you have that familiar like energy to it. Once we proverbially like starts inviting people to the cookout, it's like, all right, well, I'm gonna start doing the whose man's is this check, because if something goes left, I need to know who I need to report
I'm
back
not
to.
mad. I'm not. Listen, I understand what you. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad.
Yeah.
I think I have adopted this position. I do this with regularity these days, not to give them a pass or any of that kind of stuff. Because let's just be very honest. I'm going to pregame before y'all show up, and I'm pretty unfiltered anyway. All right. And we get a few drinks in, and we start telling stories and telling jokes. And I do intentionally want you to feel uncomfortable. And we are going to talk about white people in front of you. And again, I want you to have those experiences. And the test is going to be whether or not you have any interest in interfacing with me ever again. And I don't care one way or the other, but I do think in terms of, and this is not an open invitation to gentrify. There's none of that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? This is an invitation to put you in a position of discomfort intentionally and see whether or not that affects your perspective on the world.
I love the science experiment you got going on.
Oh, yeah.
I support it. I'll say for me, I want no parts of it, because look, when I'm clocked out, I'm clocked all the way out, and I'm liable to say
Oh no,
something
I was
crazy.
the whole time I'm like, I'm dropping the N rag. I'm dropping a
Yeah.
nigga. I'm dropping it.
And let me clarify one other thing. Eminem is not invited to my cookout, right? The people that are coming to my cookout are, I'm talking white boys. You know what I mean? Like white boys, like not somebody that's down, not somebody that's sympathetic, not, no. Good people, but white boys with their wives and their 2 kids. All right?
Yeah.
I want I want you to have this feeling. I don't want Eminem to come in, because I'm not giving Eminem, well, you know what I mean when I say Eminem, I'm not giving that person the pass, because you fuck around and slip up after having a couple of drinks and try to slide one by, it's going to get ugly. It's just not going to go.
Yeah.
And so it's literally the 45-year-old white man with the picket fence and the golden retriever and his 2 preteen kids. Come through and see if you can handle it.
And they
That's
ain't gonna
kinda
stay
what-
that long anyway.
Probably.
They getting out of there before the
But I will tell you this
before the
about them. You know what they're going to do? They're going to
What?
show up. When I say the cookout is at
On
6,
time.
they're going to be here at 5:59, and they're going to have a bottle of wine.
They get there at
They're
5:59. I'm
coming
still
with a
setting up.
gift. They're coming with a gift. Yeah, it was exactly
I'm
right.
putting them to work.
Grill isn't even
immediately.
hot yet. Grill isn't
Go
even hot yet.
go get the chairs, the tables. We just getting started. Matter of fact, I need you to do a store run.
Go get some ice. We need some bags of ice.
And they're gonna come with a clean pink polo shirt on. I'm telling you.
No, for sure.
Mhm.
God, that's funny. I did not expect it. That was good. Let's do a locker room talk. Unfiltered discussions about where the culture is heading next. Y'all, somebody said, because it's Black Music Month, somebody said Blow the Whistle is a Negro spiritual. Then they said, back that up is, we add that to the list. Nuck if you buck, we add that to the list. So I want y'all to give us what is y'all, what songs are y'all adding to the list? I know you have to
International
think. I almost gave y'all a heads up on this one. But what you got, Erinn?
International Players Anthem.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
2, I think, but these are more personal for me. I don't know that these will get that kind of traction, but Get Up, Get Out from Outkast and Goody Mob is one for me, for real. Like Yeah, that bass line, like when that comes in and the extended version with all the members doing their verses. And
Y'all
then
shouldn't have put this mic in front of me because you just turned me to a whole character. I'm finna start rapping, but keep going.
and I think it's front of mind just because we just talked about the Roots picnic, but when Maxwell's Ascension is a vibe on a couple different, like it's a cookout vibe, it's also like a chill at home alone vibe. Like so those are the two that just pop into my mind.
Damn, that's so good. Y'all would be embarrassed to know how many times I listen to this song a day, a week. I mean, oh, I love me some Maxwell.
I can listen to a song 5 or 6 times on repeat. It'll annoy somebody from time. Like I can do that for sure.
I love riding along because you can't tell me nothing.
By the way, can we just say like that? This is the magic of streaming. Back when I was coming up, if you had a song on your mind that you really wanted to hear, you had to buy the whole ass CD, even if the other 9 tracks were garbage. And if you didn't have the CD, anybody remember I had the visor on my little Honda 84 Honda Accord. I had a little visor thing with all the CDs slotted in it. And if I wanted to hear a song, there's my Keith Sweat CD. I want to hear, whatever it is. Yep.
Yeah, man.
Now if you think of a song right now, you're listening to it right now. And I have to say, I do that.
No, we was the kids. We had to get the CD book and you flip it and you got. Thank God for us. My kids will never know that experience. But I do keep a record player in the house just so they can get that vinyl experience. Yeah.
A song I feel like that starts the summer or like the springtime, good weather season. I'll just say that because global warming is a thing. A. Marie's "Why Don't We Fall in Love"? That is a guarantee. That is, I'm ready to be outside. I'm ready to go and get a few drinks, hang out with some friends. That's immediately like, all right, we outside. I think that's a potential. I feel like that's a millennial potential, like a very specific subsect of African American is going to appreciate that song.
When people leave Will Smith "Summertime" out of the conversation.
That's a pretty good shout. I have a problem with Will Smith on about 28 different levels, but there's a nostalgia to that song.
I think it's like Juneteenth is played out for summertime. We get
it. But I haven't heard it. I feel like I haven't heard it in years.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like it's a forgotten. I feel
and
like
also,
it's
Erinn,
kind of losing.
For me at my age, when Summertime came out, I think he actually released that video on the back end of an episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So I think I was like a junior in high school. I do not shy away from my age, obviously. So there was a real nostalgia to that song. And it was black as hell back in the day. Like it was not a commercialized thing. It was, it was commercialized. I mean, it was on national network television, but that was a real nostalgic song. And it really did it. The idea of cruising at 3 miles an hour in Philadelphia, that was kind of people understood that. The short set, playing basketball, like that was a thing. Yeah, Summertime was a thing. But I don't know why, but Little Spring Memories, I think is the name of the song by Mary J. Blige from her second album. Is another, you may not know it, it's not one of these mainstream, one of her bigger hits, but Little Spring Memories from Mary J. Blige is the song that kicks off the spring for me.
Gosh, dog, I need to find it. I'm sorry, because Mary's my girl, so the fact that it just did not come to my mind makes me feel bad.
I'm resisting the urge to sing it badly in your direction.
Please
Come on, Tam. I don't ever keep my beautiful voice from y'all. And Tam, I know you're my biggest fan when it comes to the vocals.
Yeah, your vocals are not to be denied. I'm
Okay,
going to pass on that.
okay. Woo! Okay, Mary J. Blige. Actually, Tam, last week you gave a song from Mo Better Blues that people should. I think I may have
Harlem
to start,
Blues by Cinda Williams.
I may have to start pulling it
It's a
out.
good song.
Great song, and she was so fine. God.
Oh, this right here?
Yep, that's it.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I'm a.
That's the weather has broken. Roll down the windows and just ride.
Also, Summer in the City, Quincy Jones cannot go unplayed. Personally,
have you seen the Quincy Jones documentary that his daughter did?
Yes.
That's really, I didn't know
I
how
just started
much.
the book.
I didn't know how much of a pure actual musical genius he really was.
Oh,
the fact that he wrote and arranged like most of Frank Sinatra's music, like he literally put those arrangements together. Like he had musical chops. He wasn't just a guy that brought people together. And nowadays it's a drum kit and a board. That dude knew how to put instruments together. Really blew my mind to learn what I learned about him in that doc.
Shout out to Quincy, man.
May he rest. Yeah.
May he rest. Oh, gosh, one of the best musicians of our times. He really is the soundtrack to my life, but we wouldn't even realize it because he's the producer in the background. God, that's a good one, Tam. That's a good one. Shout out to him anyway, because he put on Will Smith for the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I was just going through my little Spotify thing.
Mm-hmm.
Big Pimpin'.
Oh, come on now.
Jay-Z and
Big
UG. I mean,
Pimpin'.
seriously, that is that's a summer hit.
That's a good one, Tam. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Dang, we don't have Tam. I mean, we don't have Kev today. Well, Kev is in the Kev is producing the show from the chat, but
Kev will
he's
hit
not.
you with some like African stomp music that you've never heard of before and play it, and all of a sudden you're in. Kevin has that wide array of musical, like he's in places you didn't even know existed.
Yeah, Kev is so Kev. Kev in the chat talking about what up, y'all, and I can hear it in his voice saying, "What up, y'all?" So we have to do our best Kev impersonation and drop the AAV announcements.
What's up, y'all? This is Kevin Story, the managing director of AAV, coming at you. We've got the best experiences. We got you. I'm in Brooklyn. I'm used to go to school in Manhattan, and we got you. Kevin Story, managing director,
Yeah,
AAV.
yeah.
We got you.
Tam,
Whether Broccoli City tickets,
We got
I
you.
was at the. We got you.
we got a Broccoli City announcement coming up. We got the Beyonce sweepstakes. You still have a chance to win, and we still have so much more to come. So stay locked in with AAV. Follow us at All Americans Vote on IG
And by the
because we
way,
have
real
a
quick,
winner
while
announcement.
I'm making fun of Kevin, I'm stepping all over your winter announcement, Nia, but while I'm making fun of Kevin, Kevin is a big part of the reason AAV has brought a couple 100,000 Black folks into a conversation, improve, Black quality of life, all the things like improvement of Black life through culture. Kevin has run that in such an effective way. And so I'm making fun of him and everything, but Kevin runs things and Kevin knows what he's doing.
Kevin is the man, and he is making sure that y'all are at all the hottest concerts, festivals, and music experiences across the country. So we appreciate Kev. We have a winner announcement coming very soon, so make sure you stay locked in with us on IG.
We need more of those. I love all the ones that we have from the past, from the different festivals that we've done. So in the concerts. So yeah, let's more of that, please. The energy is beautiful.
It's gonna be good. I'm so excited.
Yeah, listen, thanks everybody for tapping in. That's it for this week's edition of Coach's Corner.
Keep the conversation going. Drop your hot take. Send it to the group chat. Argue in the comments. We see it all.
And remember, knowing the game is not enough. You got to know how to.
We'll see you next week.